Hey, this is John Carlos, and if you're not reading Captain Mar-Vell by Sue DeConnick, then you're missing out on one of the best books being published by Mar-Vell Comics right now. I'm a huge fan, so I'm really excited that they've made an action figure of Carol Danvers herself, Captain Mar-Vell, and I'm really stoked to review it for you guys. First, I want to mention this figure comes with the accessories to build the Build-A-Figure of the All-Father, which includes his alternate head. There's a regular Odin head out there, but this one comes with the like King Thor head. But I don't really care about the Build-A-Figure, so we won't really be talking about it. She does come with an alternate masked head and this little energy blast, but we'll get to that in a moment. First, I want to focus on the figure itself, which has some good points and some bad points. Mostly good points. First of which, I really do like the head. Let's go in for a closer look here, and you can see just how well done the head is. The face is not like anything special, but I really think they did a great job with the hair. Especially the way the hair is sculpted and the way it kind of flares out. I think all the little like kind of windswept directions look really cool, and the little groove lines within it are really well done. Also, I like that there's like a little golden brown used in there, and that like golden brown paint against the yellow really does highlight those sculpted lines. I think that just turned out great. Now the face itself is fine. I think mine's got decent paint on the eyes. The eyebrows look good. And the lips are pretty even. I saw somewhere the lips were a little uneven, so if you care about that sort of thing, in stores, be on the lookout for some wonky lips. Now the body of this figure turned out pretty good. It's a reused body. Now Hasbro and Mattel tend to like recycle and reuse bodies or specific body parts and swap them on different figures all the time. This is not a new thing for the Mar-Vell Legends line. And I think this is the Moonstone figure. And the Moonstone had a very good like kind of female defined figure as far as like the shape and the joints and the fact that the joints don't disrupt the overall flow and design of the figure. So I like that it retains like sort of a feminine shape, but also has like some strength as far as like the actual shape of the thighs and the legs go. But one of the little drawbacks to that, to me, is her neck, because I think this neck is just too small for the head. Like when you look at her jawline, and you look at that neck, it's just really kind of skinny and thin and kind of long. It doesn't really match. Other than that, though, I think the way they painted this figure looks great. As far as the red, the yellow, the blue, I lucked out and got some really clean paint. One of the things I don't like, though, is the little yellow areas have been kind of put on in little layers, it looks like. And some of the figures I saw, like you can see here, the blue kind of poking through underneath where the yellow lines meet right in the middle. Some looked way worse than this. I looked down and got a pretty good one. There were some that have little dots. For some reason, the problem area right in the middle of her cleavage can be problematic. But you can see here the bottom line, the little blue paint shining through a bit. And then in the back, I got little splotches everywhere, it's little yellow scratches on the red and whatnot. But for the most part, when you look at it, it's pretty clean yellow lines against blue and red. I also like the way the sash hangs. It's made of a hard plastic. It's not really soft, which is kind of a bummer, but the way it hangs on the body is really impressive to me. It seems to fit the hips like perfectly, but this only really looks good when it's standing. Like if you're going to try to hold her or pose her to be flying, it does kind of, you know, drop around a bit. But I think the sculpting of it and all the little wrinkles on the side there looks really, really good. Now, if you look at the actual figure itself, you can see there's a mid-thigh cut, double knee joint, and then you've got this hinge at the bottom of the feet. I love the swivel. People have been doing this with the Star Wars and Mar-Vell figures, where they've got the swivel there, which helps stabilize the figure when it's standing, but the hinge for these feet don't really move that far forward. And that's kind of a problem for me. Not only is the joint really, really tight, but the range of motion is also not that strong either. We've also got a ball joint at the waist and a ball hinge at the shoulder. One of my little problems with this is it's a little tight. It does move, but it requires a little bit of like elbow grease, and when you grab the arm, you're kind of forced to grab the bicep, and that's a really loose little swivel joint there, and I always feel like I might break the bicep off of the shoulder joint. So I wish the shoulders were a little bit loose so I didn't feel like I was going to break the arm. There's also a single hinged swivel at the elbow, and then you've got the swivel at the wrist with a hinge within it, a side-to-side hinge. I always appreciate that there's the extra hinge and not just a swivel there. And then lastly, she's got the mid-torso cut right underneath the boobage area, and her head has a full kind of tilt up and down, full range, including tilts to the side and, you know, the Exorcist right there. Popping off the unmasked head and putting on the masked head was really, really easy. I think the sculpt on this is really good. I like the little lines going around the ear. The overall shape of the mask is good. Her eye paint's good, her lips are good, but her nose is all kind of schmutzy. There's some kind of I don't know, like dry glue or paint gack on it. I don't know what it is. But the hair looks good. I think, again, the sculpt of it and the use of like kind of golden brown paint really does make it pop. It's really cool looking, well sculpted. I dig it. One thing I'm not too fond of is her little energy blast. In theory, I should like it, and I like the way it's like a soft rubber and kind of fits over the fist. It does look cool, but it's recycled. It's from the Jubilee Build-A-Figure, which is why it's got a little bit of glitter in it. Because, I mean, Jubilee had, like, you know, little electrical sparkles and stuff, and that was fitting. I don't really see why this needs to have glitter in it. But whatever. Despite the fact that the ankle joints don't hinge forward enough, which can be a little problematic when I'm trying to get the figure to stand, and despite the fact that it comes with Jubilee's glittery energy blast, I dig this figure. It's a really smooth, basic feminine type sculpt figure, but I think the paint they did over the original figure looks really good and definitely reads like Captain Mar-Vell. Not just the red and the yellow and the blue design, but just like the fact that they painted like the red boots and the little yellow dots going along the boots and on the gloves. It all reads appropriate. I think the alternate head looks good. I think the original head looks great. I dig the way the sash is sculpted. As a huge fan of Captain Mar-Vell, I dig this figure. I mean, I liked the original Marvel Legends Miss Marvel figure, but Captain Mar-Vell is a much better costume. I like the way the character's written. The book is great, and this figure is a great figure if you're a fan of that book. Thanks for watching.